Example of you can get punched in the face and get back up, because I'm the modern day Aztec warrior.
Title fight, 5 rounds. Buddy B.
Modern day Aztec warrior. Ah!
I love it. I still love that intro. Just as awesome as the first time I saw it. Nah, but as you see with MMA Underground this week, we are with Jay and the man of the hour, the Realign.
Let's go.
So how's it hanging today?
It's going good. How are you guys?
Wonderful.
Excited.
Yeah, that's the word. Excited. I like that. It's been a good time. There's some good fights that have happened. We're talking to a killer fighter who's, making some moves. He's playing chess out here. I was gonna say, I know you haven't gone too long, but you plan on visiting the scrapyard anytime in the future, just to come say what's up, or yeah?
Yeah. So actually, I'm actually going to be coming back into the area, so I'll be there for sure.
What? Are you waiting for moving or?
Yeah. I'm gonna be moving down there, and I'll get more into it more once we get into the show. But
Yeah.
I'm also gonna be training some fighters for the scrapyard. So
Nice.
oh yeah,
That's gonna be insane. I can't wait to see that back in action. Because I was gonna ask, do you show people your StreetBeefs fight ever? You're like, look, I got this much power. Bam! I can punch a grown man back 20 feet.
So I mean, the things I've been working up, I actually have been talking to a manager for my boxing, and I introduced him to StreetBeefs. So yeah, he's seen my StreetBeefs fights.
What's up, Jason? JJ.
So I always like to ask, because it always intrigues me, what got you into fighting and how did you find StreetBeefs?
I started at a young age. My whole dad's side is all boxers. My dad he never really got to compete, but he was one of the guys that gave the Golden Glove boxers in his gym the run for their money, backing them up in the corners, beating them up in the gym, and when they go into fights, people are asking like, oh, how come you have a black eye before the fight? That was my dad right there. He was the ones beating them up.
So yeah, that's just like in nature. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I started. Oh, sorry. What is that?
I said, what were you gonna say before I cut you off?
Oh yeah, so started with that. Watching my dad. Hearing his stories, and I started at a younger age. I wanted to get into MMA in the beginning. My dad grew up with BJ Penn, and so I started off in BJ Penn Youth Foundation. It's like this little thing that they did with our school program where they gave like all the kids like free training. I didn't get to learn like the ground game or anything, but I went through the Muay Thai and kickboxing program, and I did that I believe until I was 13. And then when I moved to Washington is when I transferred into boxing.
Okay. And then you were in Washington for how long?
Oh, sorry, what is that?
How long? I was gonna say, when did you move to Washington? How old were you?
I was 15 years old when I moved to Washington.
And then Jay, I know you said something before I cut you off.
Oh, I was just asking him how he found StreetBeefs. That's always, I love those, like to hear how people found it.
Yeah, so I was 18 years old when I first found StreetBeefs. It was through my buddy Reaper, actually. He was interested in fighting, and he was like showing me all these videos. He's like, he's like, oh, I want to fight this guy. I want to fight this guy. And one day he came over and he was like, yo, I signed up and I need a corner man. And I was like, okay, I'm down. So I took him to his first fight, and he fought Pookie. Oh, no, sorry. Pony Boy for his first fight. And the referee Gimp walked up to me. He was like, how come you're not signed up? And I was like, I'm only 18. And he's like, that's fine. And I was like, okay, well then I'll come back next time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, since you said you're talking to your manager, does that mean there's no official pro paperwork yet? I'm not talking to a pro yet, but we're gonna be soon, right?
Yeah. So this I'm gonna get into it a little bit. So I'm actually the reason why I'm moving back to the area is I was talking to a manager, and he gave me some offers on the table. I can't mention no offers yet, but I had the meeting with him in Las Vegas. I got to meet the whole Mayweather team. It was cool. I got to sit down and chat with them. They know my name, Realign, so that's pretty dope. And so yeah, pretty much they want me to get into some tournaments, some Golden Gloves, just some sanctioned, high sanctioned matches around the area, and they want me to get at least 5 fights in sanctioned events. So because I guess it's a law in Washington State, you need at least 5 fights before you can transfer as a pro. So I'm going to be going back to the area. I'm going to be finding a gym to train full time and get my 5 fights out the way. And they said they don't care if I win or lose. They like how I perform, and they just want me to get those fights out of the way so we can move on to the big leagues.
Heart of a lion.
It makes sense now because I've heard Dana White quite a few times say 5-fight minimum before I look at him. That must be because in some states he probably can't fight those guys if they don't have that 5 fights. And when you said you were your dad grew up with BJ Penn, it just brought up something in my head. One of the greatest quotes in MMA history to me came from BJ Penn when he said he had to tap or he wouldn't be wiping his own ass for 6 months.
Sorry, I cut off for you.
Oh, no problem. I was just saying how with your dad growing up with BJ Penn, one of the greatest quotes in MMA to me was when BJ Penn goes, he had to tap or he wouldn't be wiping his own ass for 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's somehow someone else. Oh, man, I don't know. Like, I need all female nurses to help me only, please. Sorry. I was curious because when I was training before my last fight, I went to see my uncle in Eastern Washington. It was hot as shit, and the training got to me. I got dehydrated. I almost passed out, and I know I almost, the heat almost got to me once before. So I know that moving from Washington to you into a hot area, did that affect any of your training at all when you first moved, or was it kind of like a smooth transition?
I thought it was going to be smoother, but it was definitely worse. So I moved to Texas, and it was supposedly the hottest summer they've ever had. And so it was the crappiest time to move there. But yeah, man, running and stuff, man, it felt like your lungs are like this big, you're huffing and puffing. I mean, it really did let me know like where I stand though with my cardio and stuff. So it helped me in a good way, and it sucked. And training in gyms there, man. Oh, we're talking about 100 degrees inside the gym. You know what I mean? And yeah, dude, it's pretty bad out there. But no, I wouldn't say it stopped me. I think it definitely motivated me more.
Damn, you didn't even have to weight cut that. You just go to gym. You drop 10 pounds right there. It's like, all right, boys, we're not hitting the sauna today. We're just closing the windows.
Right, right. Oh, yeah, thank you, man.
Realign is a monster. So what was that? So I know that I've seen that you were dropping some weight before. Are you trying to drop to any specific weight for when you go into your fights, or was that just cuz?
Yeah, so I'm kind of looking for the weight that I want to compete at as a pro. At the StreetBeefs events, I was competing at 205, and that was really me just not training. I was just out of shape for those fights, and yeah, no cardio, nothing, just get in there and doing it. But I wanna be able to drop weight. I'm putting like a mental goal in my mind for 175. But I'm really just checking out all the different weights. I want to check out myself at 190, see what I am at 185, and whatever one feels really good. And if I feel like I can drop down to 175, then I'll just keep pushing to 175.
I mean, yeah, you don't do that knockout power. I know you got that power. Just ooh.
Do you realize this is the second fighter in 2 weeks who's like, yeah, fuck my cardio, and they just knock people out? Like, seriously. Lights out last week's like, I don't do any cardio. And you're like, that wasn't me with good cardio. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, man. Literally. So like the thing my dad would always say, he's like, if you don't got good cardio, then you better get them out of there fast. You know, so
Right.
That's
I
true.
was curious. I wanted to jump off topic for a second. Did you guys see how the UFC has their first 17-year-old professional fighter?
no, is he the boxer?
I don't know, but the UFC signed him apparently, and the people were saying, "How's it legal?" And I guess it's like the state that he's in is one of the very few where, as long as everything's signed and they have a few, high-level sanctioned bouts, you can sign at pro at the age of 17. But there has to be like multiple people there to verify yes. And I guess they signed him, and he's going to be showing up to the UFC Contender Series to come compete. 17 years old.
I think that's
Okay.
dope. I mean, but I think the one championship did it first. There was actually a girl from Hawaii. She was 16 years old, but she's only allowed to fight in Singapore. So every time when she fights, their card is in Singapore.
So she's just whooping ass.
Did you see the UFC just had to cut this dude named Askar Morzova? I don't fucking know. One of those long, could be Russian names, whatever. Or Ukraine. He's from the Ukraine. He started the year as one of the sport's top light heavyweight prospects, based primarily on his impressive record of 25-7. Come to find out that Sheerdog and Tapology look into this dude. After doing a bunch of research, they find out he's actually 15-14, and he's not 25-7. He falsified his record, and now the UFC cut him.
What? How do you even like fake his record, man? Like what?
Overseas fights, but some dudes came out and were like, saw his record because he's getting all this hype, and were like, I beat that dude at this event, and then Tapology and them started looking into it, and yeah. But since most of his fights were in Ukraine, they had some falsified records.
Wow. Man, I might as well just fake my 5 fights. No, I'm playing.
So I was going to say, because we've been talking about a lot about training, some of the weather, this and that, and everybody does it differently. And I know a lot of people, especially say they relax and afterwards. But how do you personally, recover after you have a real hard-ass workout?
Man, really just, I don't know, really just like cold shower, I guess, swimming maybe.
Hell yeah. And then the other fun thing is, for those who don't know, there's this little thing called the Lions Club. Ooh, ooh. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I'm working on some merch, getting ready for when I do make it to the pro league. And sorry, 1 second, I'm trying to get my chart again. So I do make it into the pro league, and I created this thing called Lions Club, and it's pretty much, when I was younger and I was training, I really looked up to like the older kids in my gym, and they always used to tell me like, you gotta have that heart of a lion, right? Keep pushing when the workouts suck, when everything is just not going your way. That's just when you gotta push the most. And my biggest goal is to be like everyone's biggest hope in boxing. I want to do it in a Christian way, in a leader type way, and just give everybody that inspiration to keep on going. If I can chase my dreams, so can you. Come join the Lions Club and, show me that you got a heart of a lion.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So if it's Street Beefs, if it's somewhere else, even in a sparring session, who and what fight did you ever get hit the hardest?
I think, okay, so, it doesn't really count. I don't know if it does count, but I would say this one time me and my dad were messing around, and he gave me a little liver shot, and that's when I told myself I'll never get bodied again,
Yeah, no, that counts because that's a lesson, and anytime it gives you a lesson, it counts.
Oh yeah, man, that was the first time I've ever cut wind. I thought I broke my ribs and everything. I was like, doing the double breath. But yeah, my dad is the hardest person who's ever.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, I remember my first liver shot. I was like, as soon as I hit it, that split second, I was like, I'm about to walk forward, and my whole leg gave. I was like,
Yeah, man. I know.
Yeah.
He didn't even like hit his hardest, man. He just touched it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got that grown man strength. Your dad's like, don't mess with me. Now, it's crazy because obviously your dad fought and do all this.
Yeah.
Did your did anyone in your family ever kind of want to be like, hey, how about we give him more academics and not fighting, or was everyone always just so supportive of the fighting from the get-go?
Nah, my mom, she still hates it to this day. You know, when I told her that I have a chance of going pro, she broke down and cried. Why are you doing this? And I'm like, Mom, like I literally have an opportunity to like go somewhere, you know. And she was just like, yeah, but you know, I mean, you're always gonna be a baby to your mom's side, you know. She don't want to see me get hurt, but no, I definitely chose this to do this myself. My dad, I mean, he enjoys it, but you know, he doesn't want to see me get hurt either.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. But it's killer that you have a dad that trains you and knows all the stuff too. Because it's like my uncle's trained me, and it's nice when you have that little bit of a bond too. Because it's they can see certain things that other people necessarily always can't, and they can help shape you to where you're able to take these core skills, grow, take them wherever you want, and then create your own style, do whatever it is that you want. All right. Now. But you're coming over here, but do you feel like there's anybody in your weight class you kind of have your eye on, or since you're trying to figure out a weight class, you're just ready to annihilate anybody in your way?
Like if I had an eye on somebody in the street,
yeah, if you want to go take them out, and take their spot.
Yeah, I mean, when I was fighting in Street Beefs, the person I won in, I know I would have got that, So I'd say for the respectful one, there was my second fight that I was supposed to be in actually was supposed to be me and Viking Warrior, and at the time I was like near his weight, but I absolutely respected him. He was one of the first people that I enjoyed watching. I watched him on his first event when he fought Tyler, the Destroyer, or something like that. Yeah, but I had nothing but respect for him, and I wasn't thinking that I was going to go in there and dominate Viking Warrior. I was definitely going there thinking that I was going to learn a lesson, but for the person that I was really looking forward to fight was actually 619. Before I moved to fight in May, and he was saying some things about me, and I'm gonna put it out there, because he's nice to me when he's on the live, but he was calling me a fat 19-year-old kid, saying the scrapyard ain't got nobody but a fat 19-year-old kid, and that's a waste of time. But in the end, the fat 19-year-old kid was there waiting. I made weight. I was in a 6-month training camp, actually doing cardio. And, yeah, so the fight canceled, and so that wasn't on me.
Wow, didn't 619 just get tagged up by Viking Warrior?
Oh yeah, so I heard.
That's what I love. A big piece of that fight.
But in the end too, that's definitely a respectful fight.
Oh yeah.
I'm not really a disrespectful person, and I just look at it as two lessons I can learn.
And I really believe it's the season finale of Wero and the Mexican. So make sure you go check out Wero and 619 on their show tonight.
Oh, I will hop on.
The Mexican. I was gonna say it's crazy because I remember when I watched Viking Warrior and Tyler the Destroyer fight. Before he fought there at my old job I was working at, he came in. He's like, "Oh, you fight?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I fight." He's like, "That's crazy. Me too. I came up from so and so. I do all these fight camps. You should train sometime." I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. Maybe I'll see you fight around sometime." He's like, "All right, cool." And like 2 weeks later, I just see him something the scrapyard. He's like, "Buddy V?" Like Tyler? He's like, "Yeah, I'm fighting here. That's cool. I didn't know you fought here." I'm like, "All right." So we both got to see each other fight that day. I'm like, "Cool." So, yeah, sorry, off topic.
Oh no.
No, man, there's been some killer stuff that I've been seeing going on. Do you think that as your fights get more serious and you start getting a lot more of into higher competition levels that you're gonna have your your baby and stuff and your girl come watch the fights ringside, or would you prefer them to be at home just in case so they can see it on TV? If she gets scared, she can turn it off real quick, turn it back on.
Honestly, like if you like watch, like I love the relationship between Max Holloway and his son. You know, his son is always there in his corner, and I think as brutal as the sport can get, I still feel like, you know, it's okay to watch, you know, but at the same time, it's like, I know it would be something hard for my girl and my kid to watch when they get older too. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, because they're gonna, as a dad, they're gonna look at you like a superhero, right? And there's gonna be somebody out there that's just gonna put you on your ass, and nobody ever wants to see their dad get put on their ass, you know?
Yeah, but to me, I kind of like it. Was having the kids watch me fight, because then it's like they know it's like, I was hurt. They see me hurt after a fight, and I'm like, but I got in there. I still did my thing. Yeah, right. I'm hurting, but guess what? Not everyone's gonna step in there and do that. Not everyone's gonna go in and willingly go fight and prove a point. So plus, then you could go to school and be like, I could beat all these dads up. Be like, I could beat that dad up, that dad up. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Your dad, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely want them ringside, though. I definitely want them ringside.
Well, yeah, I gotta ask, I didn't want to cut you off earlier, but I wanted to ask, what was that like getting that manager to reach out? I mean, that feeling when you get that call and then you go to Vegas and meet with the Money Mayweather team. What is that all like? Is that a whirlwind? Like, how does that feel?
Man, it was like a smack in the face, you know? It was almost like when all that happened, it was like, I just was definitely in my head, like thinking, like, dang, like you're not even working on cardio right now, you know, like because like it was like I was wondering, it's like a stop. You need to get your shit together, because man, when I was in there too, I was just like, what if they tell me right now, like, oh, why don't you come spar with one of our people, you know, like I would have never been ready for that, you know. So it was definitely a smack in the face that I got to be ready at all times.
Right, stay ready. Okay. And fighting on this next tier, this next level, there's a lot more that goes into it than a lot of people see, you know. And I love fighting for Street Beefs, and I'm not going to take away from a lot of the people trying to go to the next level, but a handful of us, we fight, but not everyone's training consistently every day. Not everyone's trying to go pro, and in order to do that, there's a certain level of discipline and dedication that's necessary. How are you able to balance that fight life and that personal home life?
Going up to the next level, I definitely want to make sure that I'm going to start staying near the weight that I fight at, you know. Going from, you know, like Street Beefs and not training and all that stuff, it was like another slap in the face, like, you know, because you think about it, like gaining weight after the fights and then forcing your body to drop back down, you know, it's just terrible on your body. And so going up to the next level, what I'm going to do to balance it out is probably stay consistent with my weight. Like I said, make sure that I'm always ready. Kick all the bad habits out the door, you know, and just work. You know, I look at it as a job, and you need a job to pay bills.
And now with you going up a level, like it's a business. It's no longer just a hobby. This is now a business. So you got to kind of change your whole way of looking at it. Is that kind of weird and kind of like hard to do right away, or is that something you were anticipating so you're ready for it?
Not to sound cocky or anything, but I always felt that I could take it to the next level, so I was kind of ready for it. I mean, I was dedicated at a young age to watching these grown-ups in front of my face fight and watching them smack each other, that I just knew at a young age that if I was going to step in the ring, then I was going to be ready to take any steps.
Yeah, and there has to be a level of cockiness with any great athlete, period. Right? Yeah. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, cocky. I want that last shot. I do it better than anybody else. Any sport you go to, look at, you can love him or hate him, but Floyd, cocky, the greatest defensive fighter in the history of boxing. You know what I mean? There's a cockiness to all of the greats, and I don't think it's cocky when you're like, I'm good at this and I know it. Like, because an
Right.
artist isn't looked at as cocky if they know they're good, but for some reason, a fighter's looked at like he's being cocky, and I like that. I want that in a fighter I'm watching.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah.
I know there's a few fighters that talk shit and they got losing records, and I'm like, you might want to reevaluate how you go to this. But
You don't
yeah,
have to
people can
talk
back it
shit
up.
though to be confident in what you're doing, and a lot of times confidence gets taken as cockiness, right? So
Yeah.
Right. That's where I'm thinking about it too. Is like, I'm not gonna be going out there bashing people, talking shit, and all that stuff. Like, that's just not who I am. But if I am confident that I can take next steps or beat certain people, I'm gonna admit it, because it's different from saying a whole bunch of shit than saying facts,
And shouldn't you always think you're going to beat your opponent? What's the point of
Yeah.
getting it? Like,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
in trouble already if you think, like, I don't know, man. I hope I just don't get knocked out or something like that.
Right.
Doesn't seem like a
Yeah,
good
no.
strategy.
Right. And the other thing is too is like, when I was talking about the Lions Club brand that I'm trying to build, it's like I can't make people believe in me if I don't believe in myself,
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And how many times you see fighters, you could tell that they're just mentally checked out. They don't want to be there. They come out, and after those first handful of rounds, it turns into, let me survive these next few rounds. Let me take the least amount of damage. Let me just dance around and just push this as long as we could go. So, hey, a loss, I know I'm going to lose, but at least I'm not going to get knocked out. I can't think like that. I'll push my body to the limit and then some. Fuck that. I'll be throwing up on the side of the ring because I can't breathe before I quit.
Oh yeah. Like I always say too, is like, if you're gonna fight me, you gotta put me down. Because if you're not putting me down, then I'm gonna keep coming.
So
Right?
as somebody who's moving up in the levels of fighting, would you recommend Street Beefs to other fighters up and coming for the experience, like to get over the fear of stepping into a ring for the first time, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I say for fighters who, like, I know for me is I always caught myself like lowering my standards for fighting, right? So like, for example, like I don't want to sound like I'm talking crap, but when I fought Canadian, like when I fought him and when I'm in the ring with him, I'm in my mind, I know that I could just walk through him like nothing, right? But like the first round, I'm just letting him hit on me. It didn't hurt or anything, but I'm just letting him hit on me because I have like this block where it's like, just what if they're a little bit better than me, and taking the next step up, I would say it's definitely good to go into something like that where, it helps you get out your head, gets that experience, and there's a lot of fighters out there too that I know suffer with like holding back their punches because they don't know their own strength, so they don't know how to use their strength. And I think it's definitely good for fighters that are deciding if they want to do it or not to take that chance into Street Beefs.
And you can always feel free to, I love the Canadian, but he talks enough shit for everybody. So you can always feel free to take a shot at the Canadian whenever you like. We're in a fantasy football league together, and we have a group chat for the fantasy football league. And him and Hitman never stop talking shit to each other.
Oh,
Never.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's pig day? Yep, let me get my popcorn ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to shout out Hitman though. Hitman's my dude, man. We've actually been talking it up, and he's going to be one of my sponsors that I'm going to take up with me to the next level. So
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Wisconsin's very own the Terrifier, Mrs. Realign.
Miss you too.
Terrifier, yeah, we miss you.
We need him back on the show sometime too.
Yeah, he needs to get back on. I was just saying, talking about staying healthy, talking about staying on weight, all this other stuff that we got to do to stay disciplined at the next level. We have to obviously prepare, and not just, mentally or physically, but also prepare ourselves for success. And with one of those is our eating habits. And I'm curious, do you have any favorite meals while you're cutting weight that you like to eat, or anything that you kind of like splurge on here and there?
So like so I'm half Hawaiian and half Puerto Rican. I mean, I got more in me, but I like to just claim those two because that's like my most dominant. But I would say having those two cultures in my life, it's pretty hard to, like eat a salad. So when I'm cutting weight, I like to just I like to still eat the same meals, but a lot leaner, like grass-fed stuff. So, but one of my favorite things actually is I got these breakfast tacos. Breakfast tacos is the thing, man. So I get like this grass-fed, like beef or bison. Actually, I like to use bison a lot, but I make like this chili bison on, and then I crack an egg inside the shell, and I put the chili inside. You know, put the greens, put the vegetables in there. Just 2 tacos, and you got like 30 grams of protein for breakfast.
Are you part of Street Beef Foodies?
Huh?
You part of Street Beef Foodies? You need to be part of Street Beef Foodies and put that on there, man. That needs. And then the question everybody wants to know: do you like Spam?
Man, Spam is breakfast, lunch, and dinner, man. You already know.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, there you go. Hey, man, I used to eat Spegs all the time. Spam and eggs, like, oh, man.
Man, I'll tell you what.
You guys, you're not going to believe me. I've had Spam once in my life.
Terrible. That's terrible, man. When I'm back at one of the events and you're there, I'll make sure I bring you some bomb Spam, Hawaiian style.
Hawaiian style, yeah. Oh shit! Let me get my Now this is the crazy part because I love asking boxers, especially this question, because I get so many mixed reviews. What are your thoughts on the Bkfc, the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship?
I actually like it a lot. Actually, I like it a lot. You know, coming from Hawaii too, like the street fighting there is just different, man. Like, and I feel like it definitely prepared me for becoming a fighter too, man. I'm telling you, like, you go in Hawaii, if you're down in Hawaii, you know, you just look the wrong way or you look at somebody a weird way, man, and you better be ready to knuckle up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, when I don't see any problems with it, man. I just look at it as like back home stuff.
Yeah. Is that something you'd be willing to do now, or is it something that you're like, hey, I want to focus on the regular boxing, but maybe someday?
I would focus on the regular boxing for now, but I mean, if I ever get like a big offer or a big name, and you know, I'll do it.
And it's crazy to me because I mean, I've seen professional boxers come out and kill it, and some guys come out that don't do the best. There's a couple people, I can't think of their names off the top of my head, where they're MMA fighters. They have losing records. They're doing all right. Half of them are full losses, not even one of the judges. Go to Bkfc, boom, they're 6-2. They're 7-1. I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah, okay. Because they're strikers who can't be put on their back, right? Like, you're not going to see Ben Askren go in there and win a fight because he got knocked out by Jake Paul. Yeah, that still hurts me because he's a Wisconsin guy. Still hurts me. Like, I just, it hurts me.
Oh, man, I honestly, one of my favorite fighters in there right now, just like how you're saying, they come from UFC. This man was a menace, man, but he had a crappy record because this man was a street fighter. But Platinum Mike Perry, that's my dude.
Wow. Fuck, and he was just on that London card, too. I haven't watched that yet.
And I think his first fight, his debut into bare knuckle was against Julian Love.
Yep.
And
put me back in. It was against Put Me Back In. That's his name. It ain't even Julian. It's Put Me Back In. Here, speaking of bare knuckle, look at who just popped into the comments, Buddy V.
Derek Gage, what's up? What's up? How's it hanging? But yes, perfect time to talk about Bkfc
monster, but I'll never ever think. The first thing I always think about is his UFC. Let me bang, bro. Let me bang. That's the first thing I'll ever think.
Just let me bang. Yeah, because he does. Yeah, that's right. He does do Bkfc. I forgot. Jeez.
Yeah, and he was.
Yeah,
he
him
was
and Mike Perry.
Julian Love was.
I wouldn't mind seeing Nate Diaz in Bkfc too.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, Nate bleeds as soon as he gets hit, so that place would be covered in blood.
Yeah.
Right, he's not gonna have time to put his hands up on the cage at all either. No.
Would hurt more though.
Yeah. Now, since we're talking about if you were to take a BKFC fight, you know, maybe in the future, this and that, this is what I'm very curious. What do you see for the longevity of your career? How long do you want to stay active fighting?
So, again, I'm looking at it just to really inspire. You know, at a young age, I was coaching a lot of my my younger students. Like, I think my youngest student I had was like 13. You know, I just grew up in the same neighborhood as these kids in Washington, and I started training them in. We started off in my garage, and I got bags and stuff, and I let all these kids come in, and you know, and so like I kind of have this idea that I'm gonna fight for a bit, you know, get my name out there to eventually where I can open up a gym, you know, and I want to make a gym happen and start training fighters full time and become a full time coach.
Hell yeah! And some of those coaches are badass. Like I've seen some of those older like Muay Thai coaches, and they're like sitting there. They're not ripped. They're not nothing, but they look strong. And then the guys are sitting there all buff, 6-pack, 8-pack abs, bulging muscles, and they're going against this guy. And he's like, "Can't train me." And then he's like, lays them out. And he's like, "Come on, really? Really? That's it? I'm going easy on you." I'm just like, damn. I want that guy on my team. I want him as my friend. You need your house washed? Come on, me get your RV. I'll get the roof.
Yeah, I pretty much just want to build up my name, you know, because like, I mean, I think it'd be a lot easier running a business once, because you know, I look at myself as my own product. You know, my name is my product. You know, once I become something, then people are like, oh, damn, I'm gonna train at Hunter's Gym, right? Just because they know my name, and I think it'd be 10 times easier. But I do want to do like a performance academy type deal, so not just for fighters, but like, you know, if I got NFL players hitting me up, or UFC fighters, boxers, like these like top tier athletes hit me up, and I can be like, for example, they're like, oh, I got to get ready for this. I'm like, okay, give me 2 months. You know what I mean? And you just make, you know what I mean, make money.
Yeah. I feel like if you are coming back up here, Seattle's a good prime area. When Doughboy came up, I picked him up from the airport. He wanted to check out a gym that this one UFC fighter that she fought at trains at. I know a lot of Seattle people from all sorts of sports, all are actively involved in the community with all sorts of stuff. So I mean, sheesh, your chances are gonna be like, you're like, I can kick your ass, but let me help you.
Let me help you. Exactly.
We all know you can sleep a motherfucker. That's not a question. Your power is there. What would, besides your power, what would you consider your best attribute as a boxer?
Honestly, dude, my hands are not where it's at. If I'm being 100% honest, man, I really wanted to do an MMA fight in StreetBeefs, but I didn't get anybody matched up with me. My legs, man, my legs were the deadliest things before I transferred over to. And Reaper would tell you, man, all these people I trained with, they'll tell you. I used to do kickboxing with them, train them, and you know, that's why a lot of people look at me like, wait, you're training Reaper for kickboxing, but they never knew my background. And man, I say my legs are definitely where it's at.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay, then, so you might appreciate this. So the last BKFC, Boaka had his fight. Are you a fan of him?
Say it again.
The Boaka from Thailand or whatever. How he just came out and had his BKFC debut. He was like the Thailand like champ or whatever.
Oh, is that the? That's
Boaka. Like, I'm butchering his name right now. Boaka.
No, he's like a legendary champion out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, that man's a beast.
Yeah, there's a killer. All right. Ooh, sorry. Getting a little distracted. Now, real quick, I want to see what you guys think. What do you think, James? Is it cool if I do a quick little fighters to watch?
Buddy V's Fighters to Watch.
Ooh. Now, I got 4 choices or 4 yards, one from everybody, because last time I didn't have one for West Coast. So I will start with them. 1, Battleborn. I was really impressed when he had originally had his fight with Diesel. He threw his shoulder out before Diesel became champ on one of the fights. And I was like, all right, I want to see Battleborn get better. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this up now is because we're talking about Muay Thai, you know, kickboxing. And he's coming out doing Muay Thai, and I am impressed. His skill level from his Muay Thai, from his past few fights up to his most recent one, has just skyrocketed faster than his boxing. And I really think he's one that you want to watch. 2, was Storm Riders. I know he's came a long way from some of his first fights. I know he lost kind of brutal. I think he fought WA, lost to Shinigami. I think he said he got hurt on the cage. He actually came out, did some ground and pound. I think he was doing some work. So I like those. From the OG yard, there's this guy, Leader. Oh, my goodness. He was fighting first round. Him and his opponent are throwing punches. They're going, and then his opponents all of a sudden just hit him. Bam, hitting him. Bam, hitting him. Bam, hitting him. Bam. Same kicks, like you're hitting the AB button, AB over and over, eating him. Then Leader just comes over. I think it's like the third round. And wham! Starts wailing on the guy's face so much he doesn't know where he's at. His hands go, and he just go bam, 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 bam. And then Wolverine stops in, stops the fight. And he was, yeah, I was impressed because the other guy was more buff, more this, more that. And so I think he's one to watch. From Dirty South, Thunder Dragon. First round knockout. This was a back and forth that I thought was going to go a full 3 rounds. Middle of him throwing a punch, he throws a light one, comes back, foot right across the guy's face, out cold. And it's crazy. As soon as the guy hits the ground, he wakes up. He hits the ground. All right. And goes, great fight, man. You beat me. All right. We're like, oh, shit. Damn. Okay. And then from the Scrapyard, this one just came out with Montu Netter. He had a kickboxing match, and his hits were brutal. He's fast. He's quick. And his opponent couldn't even go. He said he wants to train harder and rematch. So I thought it was a great opportunity for him to show off his skills. And I want to see what happens if he – I think he's has the skills to get like 1 or 2 under his belt and then be a real good match for Crazy Legs. So I want to see that.
Well, those are some good picks. And before we get back with some more, here's a quick word from Overtime Hustling.
Overtime Hustling.
What's good? It's your homie, Freezes Christ. Y'all know the deal. Make sure y'all head on over to overtimehustling.com where you can catch all the latest merch, all the newest mags, all the media, everything, know what I mean? And you can also find me on Winging It with the homies Keith G, King Dale, and Payne Gusto. And you can catch me on Turf Tales with the homie SK, as well as Backbox, you know what I mean? And if you got nothing to do on Sundays, even if you do got something to do, make sure you tap in the Overtime Reactions hosted by the homie Cuzzo. And I cannot forget the homie Jay over there at the Yankee and the Brit channel. So make sure y'all go over there and check them out. And hey, check me out, your boy Freezes, on that Real Talk with Jay. It was a hell of an interview, yo. Gotta do it again. I keep saying it because I mean it. We gotta do it again. I had a great motherfucking time. But anyway, you know who it is. Freezes H, OTH, Yankee and the Brit, Winging It, Turf Tales, Overtime Reactions, Chronicles Podcast. You know the drill, Cush's Corner. It's a motherfucking movement. So move with it. Or move out the motherfucking way. Simple and plain.
Overtime hustling, we hustling overtime.
I wish everybody could see what I see when that's going on. That's all I'm going to say. Lion might have froze up on us.
Oops. Yeah, earlier he was a little laggy. I thought it was me, and then I was like, then I saw it was all good. Wi-Fi, it gets the best of us. Happens to everybody, no matter what kind of fighter you are. Boxer, UFC, Bkfc, Bellator, celebrity. Everybody at one point had Wi-Fi issues.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely happens. Buddy, by chance, do you know his social media to shout out there? If not, I'll get a hold of him later, and I'll put it all in the description below, everybody. So by tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, go in there. All his social media and stuff will be in the descriptions.
I'm pretty sure his Instagram is The Real Lion, and you'll see a picture of him with his gloves right there like that, too.
And it's the cover picture that's with you on the logo for the show. So look for that picture. And like I said, I'll reach out to him and I'll get those social media from him and put them in the description below.
Hell yeah. And real quick, for everybody that doesn't know, if you need your official Yankee and the Brit t-shirt, go to zwell-world.com. I'm going to add a couple more things tonight to my website. Make sure to stay up because it's going to start looking flashy. I'm going to start looking up how to make it look pop a little bit more. So it's more eye-grabbing, eye-attention, having fun. And for those of you that don't know, I always, with every order, will put at least a sticker in. And if you buy more stuff, you might just happen to get 1 or 2 more free things. So, you know, you help me, I help you. Let's all help each other.
Well, I have to ask, did I not see a Facebook Live earlier today of somebody at a pop-up event? Was that you?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That
And it's one of those things you gotta go for it while you can. We're hungry. We're out here hustling overtime. It's a motherfucking movement. And my friend's getting this that I partner with, that I do some vinyls for, and I help him. He helps me getting his whole van painted, custom, right there. He's like, hey, my van's getting painted. There's gonna be lots of people staring because it's a big thing. It's a custom graffiti van. It's sick as shit. He's like, you want to come out and pop up? And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Got up, got all my shit ready by my door, took my daughter to school, came right back, took out the car seat, loaded up the car, put all my shit in there with my son in the back seat, went out, did the whole pop-up event, sold a few things, had a great day, loaded back up, went home, and then went and picked up my daughter as soon as school was out. So
sorry, I got kicked out.
No worries.
Weird.
In a second, we'll have you shout out your social media. But before we do, I just want to tell everybody quick, too. As we run the Overtime Hustling ad and all that other stuff, check it out tomorrow on overtimehustling.com. The playlist, first episode, me and Payne Gusto, bringing you some music you probably never heard of. So make sure you check that out. That'll debut tomorrow. And Realign, before we get out of here, make sure you shout out your social media and where everybody can follow you at.
Yeah, y'all can follow me at The Realign Cortez on Instagram. And yeah, I post down my my merch there, my fights there, and also some music down there too. So stay tuned.
Wait, music? What?
Yeah, I actually make music with my fiance.
What kind of music?
I do like R&B and rap.
Really?
All right.
Well,
Okay. We're not gonna see like shadow videos, are we? Like where it's just the silhouettes of you two.
Hey, so when you get bored, Real Lion, I have this show called Real Talk with Jay where I bring artists on and they debut their music and we talk about. Check it out. Maybe we'll have to do something sometime.
Yeah, for sure. Hit me up anytime.
Man of many talents. I liked it.
So, before I let you get out of here, though, what's next for Realign? I know you got plans in the works, but is it just to get back to the Pacific Northwest, start training? Do you have any fights in mind lined up? What's next?
Yeah, so I'm actually here in Oregon. That's where I'm staying at right now. I'm living in Oregon. And yeah, so I'm actually planning on fighting in Klamath Falls. I don't have a specific date yet, but it will be on NBC Sports. And I'll post about it. So if you guys follow me on The Realign Cortez, you'll see me on there, and I'll let you guys know.
Hell yeah, we'll make sure we share the fuck out of that too. We will let everybody know because that's exciting, man. Not only for guys who have met you in person and you've been at events with, and so they get this bond with you, but for a fan, and I say this, and I know people think I'm crazy every time. I love all combat sports, but I find Street Beefs more exciting than the UFC at times because it's just the love of the sport, right? It's less business. But when you get to see somebody fight in any of the branches, like you see the OGR's got some guys like making waves right now and getting their wins. And it's so exciting to watch you guys because you're like, I was watching that dude when he was like knocking motherfuckers out in Street Beefs, or I was, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. It gives you more of a connection with the fighters. I think it's amazing for all of you and for Street Beefs to get more recognition too.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. I think we had a great show. Thank you so much for being on. We appreciate your time.
And thank you, Realign. I'm glad that you said yes to being on the show. Thank you.
Thank you guys for the opportunity.
All right, man. You're welcome back anytime. Good luck on your upcoming fight. Everybody, thanks for watching. One world, one love. Deuces.